Hello and welcome to Highlights. My name is Jim Strawn, host of the program Highlights from the Heart of Our Community. It's brought to you through a collaboration between Jim Strawn and Company, the Media Center, and HD Media. And if you're a regular viewer of our show, and we certainly hope that you are, you know how much we love to focus on those grassroots organizations, those charitable, not-for-profit organizations and people that are just doing truly remarkable work to make our great state of West Virginia, our Kanawha Valley, and our city of Charleston a much better place to live, learn, work, and to play. And on today's Highlights program, we're going to feature a couple of different organizations and grassroots folks that are doing just that and more. This time of year, normally it's time for the Moses Auto Group Live on the Levee. Been a little disrupted the past couple of years, but we're back on track. We have Delegate Mike Pushkin here to talk a little bit about the music lineup, what Live on Levee means to the city of Charleston, and we're so excited to launch that again May 27th all the way through September 2nd. After we talk with Delegate Pushkin about that, we have my good friend Harper Gardner standing by. He's going to come in and talk about the 28th annual West Virginia Senior Sports Classic coming to Charleston, West Virginia in the Kanawha Valley, July the 8th through July the 23rd. For all of our 50-plus athletes out there, we have 12 sports that you can compete in, and it's really a lot of fun. It's your time to shine if you're over the age of 50. But right now it's time for Delegate Mike Pushkin to shine, and we're here to talk about the Moses Auto Group Live on the Levee. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here and talk about Live on the Levee. It means summer is right around the corner.
It's officially here. Yeah. Now, a couple of days ago as we taped this show, you were part of the City of Charleston's press conference, and we announced the lineup. Thus, we can talk about that. But before we talk about some of the music, Mike, you've been a part of this Live on the Levee, playing, coming down, helping secure bands, helping with the lineup, behind the scenes, front of the scenes for many years. What do you think Live on Levee means to the city of Charleston and the Kanawha Valley?
Well, it means community to me. I mean, nothing brings people together like music. It's a universal language. No matter what, we can all come together and enjoy good music, good weather, hopefully most of the time, in a beautiful setting right there outdoors, right on the riverfront in Charleston. And it's always a great time. I'm so excited to have it back Memorial Day to Labor Day, right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, we open on May the 27th, so that'll be Friday after we tape this show, May the 27th, which is Memorial Day weekend, Friday, and then it'll go to September the 2nd, Labor Day weekend on a Friday, so that's 15 Fridays. Sometime the calendar, the way it rolls, we get an extra one in every 7 or 8 years. We get 16 Fridays in, but we're going to be there's the picture right there, Moses Auto Group, Live on Levee. We're going to be down at Haddad Riverfront Park, and the Schoenbaum stage is where all the music happens. It's a beautiful setting. You can see from that picture right there. We average about 7,500 a night. Some nights we get over 10. We've had as many as 15 to 20,000 people there on big nights. Almost reminds us of some of the regatta days. And speaking of regatta, I know that's coming back. And this Live on the Levee, Mike, it collaborates with a lot of other organizations. So it's not just city officials and you're on the music selection committee, and then there's a logistics committee, and then we rely on the Parks and Recreation. We rely on city officials and public works. But there's a lot of collaboration with Festival, the Regatta Commission, Multi-Fest. There's other things that are happening, and it all kind of marries together for 15 great Fridays. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There's always been a collaboration because a lot of things that have been going on for years, like Multi-Fest and Festival, they fall on weekends. And it's better just to work together and combine efforts and bring in really special acts. And now we have the added bonus of having Regatta back on 4th of July weekend.
So, we're going to talk about the 4th of July weekend and what happens down at Haddad with the Levee on that Friday night, July the 1. But I want to just say thank you to all the committees and thank you to the committee members, but special thanks to all the sponsors, all the people that step up, the community, the businesses, the organizations, the individuals. It takes a village to put this together. We were able to secure over 100,000 this
That's
year
awesome.
to help put these, pay the musicians. You're a big musician unions guy. You're a musician.
Yeah.
You know how you can't, you don't play for free, and you want to get down there and compensate them for their value and their talent, right? So that's a pretty good number, right? Over 100,000.
Yeah, that's great, and we were able to do a lot with it. And it's been a real labor of love for years to serve on the Live on the Levee committee. But I really have to give credit to one committee member in particular who's done a lot of the heavy lifting, and that's John Ingram.
Absolutely, John.
Very talented guy. We're lucky to have him here in the Kanawha Valley, and he helped with the immensely with the lineup and getting the contracts in order and a lot of the talent buying this year.
Let's talk a little bit about the lineup. We're going to open up on Friday night, May the 27th. The music folks, if you're not from here and you haven't been down, make sure you get down there. But we start the music at 6:30, and we end pretty closely to 9:30. It's a family-friendly evening, something for everyone. I don't care if you're 3 or 103. And if you don't like the music on one week, you're going to like it the next week, because we try to do something, a different genre. But we try to offer something that everyone's going to like along the summer. So on May the 27th, we're going to open up with a local favorite, the Carpenter Ants, with special guests. Who was that special guest? Who's that special guest there? I'm having a hard time reading it, but we know that Carpenter Redline. Yeah, I have a hard time reading that, but Redline's going to warm things up at 6:30, and then taking center stage at Schoenbaum is the Carpenter Ants, and they say they're going to have a special guest. Let's talk about Michael Lipton and the Carpenter Ants, and I know you mentioned it at the Levee.
Yeah.
They're going through a tough time, and I'll let you talk about that with the audience a little
Well,
bit.
Carpenter Ants have been around for a long time. They've been, just entertaining crowds in Charleston and beyond. I mean, they've been all over the world, and they're a world-class band with a very unique sound, and they do it so well. And unfortunately, they went through a horrible tragedy this year with the loss of their lead singer and just a dear friend of everybody who knew him, Charlie T. But the band is continuing to play. They got Mark Bates is going to be playing with the band, and I think they're going to carry on just as Charlie T would have it, and that's going to be shaking hands and making friends with everybody they meet, and it's such a positive message that they put out, and they're really good at it.
I'm sure there'll be a special moment. We'll do a little moment of silence for Charlie T.
Yeah.
I'm sure, and Charlie will be with us there, certainly, in spirit. But May 27th, we kick things off with Michael Lipton and the Carpenter Ants. On the first Friday in June the 3rd, it's Veterans Night, so Work Sullivan Lifeway Center will be down there selling 50/50 tickets, and I'll talk more about the 50/50 in just a moment. But we're bringing them back. Boy, talk about good energy. The Davidson Brothers Band is back, right? Johnny and them, what's his name? No? Is it Johnny? Who are the Davidson Brothers? Up in the Harrison County area.
Yeah, they're old friends of mine. Donnie.
Donnie's
Yeah.
it. Donnie's the Davidson Brothers.
Donnie's the lead singer. Yeah. But they've been around. I mean, they've been playing since they were since they were kids. I've known these guys. They grew up around music.
They're making a name for
in
themselves.
South Harrison County, and they've been playing, and they've been doing something. They play all over the country.
Yeah, they're not just West Virginia anymore.
Yeah.
They come from West Virginia, but they're traveling quite a bit now, and they're making quite the name for themselves. And this is what they do for their livelihood now, right? And this is all they do.
Yeah, and it's a true family effort with Donnie and Chris. They've had cousins in the band. It's just, you could tell you can't get any tighter knit when you have brothers singing and playing together.
I'm going to say it again. They bring the energy.
Yeah.
And you can't help yourself. You'll be down in front of the Schoenbaum stage dancing for sure on Veterans Night, June the 3rd. We mentioned John Ingram, very instrumental in helping us put this lineup together this year. Part of the, it kind of spearheads the selection with for the music selection team for Live on the Levee. He likes to do this every year. He usually does some kind of a tribute, and this year he has selected David Bowie. So there's a Bowie tribute spearheaded by Johnny Ingram and friends, we always call it, right?
Yeah. Well, he always gets a lot of local and regional artists to sit in. People go out and do one or two songs, and it's always a great production when John puts together a show. So it'll be top notch, and people will know the songs because it'll be David Bowie songs that we all know and love.
Well, that's what
it's always a lot of fun.
Sing along to those ones we know.
Yeah, when he does a tribute, it's always a lot of fun, and it's not just a cover. It's not just like a cover band. It's a real tribute because you have different people from different backgrounds who bring different talents to the event, and it's always entertaining.
Yeah, I don't even know who they're going to be, but
Yeah.
he'll typically parade anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 people. I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing one of the songs. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is so great.
Yeah.
So I'm back there emceeing, and I'm going, oh my gosh, look at all these great people that are here.
Yeah, it
Very
keeps the show
talented.
fresh and
Very
keeps everything
talented.
moving. Yeah.
Very talented. The next week, June the 17th, we call it Foot Mad Night. Foot Mad is Friends of Old Time Music and Dance, Ranky Tanky.
Yeah.
Foot Mad's a part of this. They're helping with that evening, along with the West Virginia Commission on the Arts. So Foot Mad Night, Ranky Tanky. You know a little bit about them?
Yeah, I've heard about them, and Foot Mad has collaborated with Festival. That also falls during the first weekend of Festival.
So that's a festival.
That would be a
weekend,
festival,
football,
yeah.
and a Foot
So
Mad night.
they've collaborated with Festival, and Ranky Tanky, from what I understand, it's a little jazzy, it's a little bluesy, and apparently they play South Carolinian gullah music. And I think it'd be safe to say they are probably the premier South Carolinian gullah band in the East Coast.
Well, we just said it. We just deemed them that, didn't we? We sprinkled the holy water.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And if
Yeah.
it's Foot Mad, then there's going to be dancing involved. It'll be fun.
Minor Swing opens up that evening, and that's with our local friend Alacia will be with Minor Swing. On the 24th of June, we have Remember Jones. Regional band? They're not for local, or are they local?
I believe they're a regional band.
Regional band. We got them coming in on June the 24th. And then we mentioned the Regatta Commission, and the regatta is back June the 30th, July 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So like 4.5, 5 days for the regatta this year. On July the 1st, down at the Moses Auto Group Live Levee, in conjunction with the regatta, big night. We announced that a few weeks ago. The Four Tops and the Temptations.
The Temptations.
So some of the original band members are still there, but not all of them. Correct, obviously.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
But they play their songs.
Yeah,
and it sounds just
My
like
Girl,
Motown.
Ain't Too Proud to Beg. We'll
know them all.
Everybody, yeah, you'll
we
know
will
all
know
the
every
songs.
one of them.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big night for me. I like that sound. So make sure you get down to Haddad Riverfront Park, folks. July 4th weekend, July 1, down there, we're going to have the Charleston Sternwheel Regatta, the Four Tops, and the Temptation. Now, let's just mention some other days here with the regatta while I have you on there. Saturday, do we have Martina McBride? Is she Saturday? When's Martina McBride?
Yeah, I believe that's Saturday.
Saturday. Then Sunday, we have Rick Springfield.
Yeah, that's right, Rick Springfield.
July the 3rd. And then on July the 4th, that Monday evening, we have our very own West Virginia Symphony Orchestra orchestrating with the fireworks that evening.
Yeah, we got them back. It used to be a tradition every 4th of July that the symphony would be the background music of the fireworks, and they play patriotic songs to go along with the fireworks, and really excited to have that event back. Yeah.
Moving on, July the 8th, it is WTSQ, Status Quo Night.
Yeah.
Is it Roswell?
Roswell Kid.
Roswell Kid. Yeah, that's their night. What about them?
They're a band. It's a young band, and they've really done well. They're nationally known, but they're from right here in West Virginia. And so that's a night that's semi-sponsored by WTSQ, our community radio station. It was started several years ago by folks. Actually, I was one of the original DJs for WTSQ. It's just
They've
people
moved
that work
recently.
with.
They're not in the Union Building anymore.
Over at the People's Building.
They're in the People's Building.
And beautiful new studio. But the thing about anybody who volunteer our time with WTSQ, it's for a love of music and sharing our love of music with the rest of the community. And that's what's going to be going on WTSQ night at the Levee with Roswell Kid.
I love it.
And there's a couple local bands, I believe, opening up. Mediocres.
Mediocre?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time reading my
It's
schedule
small
here.
print.
But Mediocre, they're local. In the middle of the month, July the 15th, we have a country artist, I believe, coming in, Drew Parker. And so that's always fun for the country fans. And I mentioned, if you don't like the music one Friday, just stick around. Wait, because we'll bring in something for
when we have
everyone.
good country artists down there, it's usually some of the busiest nights we have.
Absolutely. I mean, this is Appalachia. We love our country.
Yeah.
We love our country music. The Parachute Brigade, July the 22nd, and the settlement will warm up for them. I know the settlement.
Yeah, settlement is, I believe they're from Morgantown. Parachute Brigade, they're a regionally known act. They've come and they've played sound check sessions before. They played around here a lot, and they always do very well, and they're a very good band. I think the crowd at Live on the Levee will love them.
The last Friday in July brings us Holly
Holly Forbes, yes.
Holly Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about Holly?
Holly was a contestant on The Voice.
Ha-ha.
And
I did
she
hear that.
made it through several rounds. I believe she made it to the final round. And I've known Holly for a while.
Is
and
she from West
has a
Virginia?
voice. Yeah, actually, yeah, she's over either in the Huntington area or maybe
Okay.
right over the river from there.
Fun.
But we'll call her a West Virginia.
Yeah, she certainly
because
will.
she plays here
We'll
a
take
lot.
her.
She's played around here a lot. She's had bands around here and sat in with other bands, and she has a tremendous voice. She's a tremendous talent, and people are going to love Holly Forbes.
Well, we'll accept her and welcome her back to West Virginia.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier all the collaborations with the Moses Otter Group live on Levee. The first Friday in August the 5th. It's been around for 20-some, 25, almost 30 years, maybe 30 years. The Multifest used to be on the Capitol grounds, moved down here to the Boulevard, and now it's part of the Friday night. So it's Multifest at Live on Levee at Haddad Riverfront Park, and it's not really run by the city, but it's collaborated by the city, but it's Multifest Committee, and Maya's coming into town.
Yes, Maya she's huge. She's been around for over 20 years.
Yeah.
A great R&B singer, and you definitely have heard her songs. She's great. It's a big news to have Maya headlining Multifest
And
this year on Friday night.
Climax is going to be there.
They're the opener.
Yeah, they're the opener.
Yeah.
Boy, I can't wait for that night.
Yeah.
Multifest. So then August the 12th, as we move along, Shane Mead and the Sound. Shane Mead and the Sound. So they're taking center stage down there on August the 12th. Then we have an all-female Led Zeppelin tribute band, Led Zeppelin.
I'm looking forward to that.
I love it.
I grew up on Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin, the all-female Led Zeppelin tribute band, is probably the most well-known Led Zeppelin tribute band in the country. They do a very good job. If you like Led Zeppelin, you're going to love it. Even if you don't like Led Zeppelin, you're probably going to like it because they're really good at it.
So they're a national touring
they're a
tribute band.
nationally known Led Zeppelin tribute band, and they're phenomenal.
Working with John and working with city officials and working on that lineup selection committee, Mike, give us a little insight on all the pieces and all the puzzle pieces that have to fit together with the budget and the traveling and the agents that we work with and the contracts. And I can't do it that night, but I can do it that night. But I don't need you that night. I need you this. How does that all fit together?
It's a difficult puzzle to put together. Like I said, all the credit in the world it goes to John Ingram. There's a whole lot that goes into it, checking which bands are on the road this summer, which bands, where the routing takes them. If they're say they're in Cincinnati one night, they're in Maryland the next night, well, we can get them to come through
And
here.
that helps us with our budget, too. If they're close or driving through, well, we'll swing through because we're driving through anyway.
Yeah, and it helps having 3 interstates coming through town for sure.
That is a big deal. Thank you to our officials 30 and 40 and 50 years ago that made that decision, right? We have a couple left on August 26th as we just about wind down the summer. The Lonely Ones are coming to Haddad Riverfront Park. You know a little bit about the Lonely Ones?
Yeah, they're a great regional band. I think that people are going to have a lot of fun that night.
And then we're going to end it on September the 2nd.
Yeah.
We're going to open with fireworks. We're going to close with fireworks. Neil Francis and a local band, Birth. And you have a little something to do with that with your union guys,
Yeah,
right?
the American Federation of Musicians Local 136 is kind of co-sponsoring that evening, as we've done the past several years on Labor Day. We have a Labor Night on Friday night of Labor Day weekend. Neil Francis is just a phenomenal up-and-coming artist. It's like a piano rock. And he's great songs he's really good at. And local favorite, Birth, they're more of a jam band. They've been, packing venues around the Kanawha Valley for a couple years now, and I think that people are really going to enjoy them on the big stage.
So we're having a great conversation with Mike Pushkin. Of course, he's a delegate, but he's wearing the hat as a Live on the Levee lineup committee member today on the Highlight Show. Mike, talk a little bit about the last one we've had for real was in 2019, Live on Levee. 2020, we didn't have any Live on Levee. We didn't have any music. We stayed inside. It was a blur of a year. Last year, 2021, we kind of got a later start. We opened on July the 9th. We went to October. We're not sure how September Fridays worked, although we did end really with a big night on October 1 with Landau. But here we are, back again, some simulation of normalcy. It'll be the first time, I'm honored to serve as the Master of Ceremonies for the Levee. It'll be the first time I stood on the Schoenbaum stage in May in 1,099 days. What did the COVID period, What did it do to musicians? They weren't able to play. How did it hurt them? Did they finally get some gig relief?
Yeah.
But it just wasn't any fun for musicians who love to get out with the people and play, right?
Yeah. Well, the live entertainment industry was, in general, took the biggest hit from COVID. Those were the first folks out of work. They were the last folks back to work. And it's not just about performers, and it's not just about the big performers who've made a lot of money. And there's so many performers out there who are struggling, and it's like I said, not just them. It's the sound techs, the lighting crew, all the ancillary industries that are around live performance. It was gone for a while. And what really what we were missing is that community. That sense when we all come together to enjoy music together. So the good thing is now that the COVID numbers have gone back down and people are getting back out, like every band you can think of is on the road this summer because everybody has been itching to play, and that might have helped with some of the great bands we were able to bring in for Live on the Levee. But I, really during the midst of the lockdowns, what I missed the most was live music, and it's back, and thank God it's back.
We are back. We'll,
Yeah.
we'll end our conversation with Mike Pushkin with that. We're back. Thank you to you and John and the entire committee, Mike. We hope to see you folks at Riverfront Park, May 27th. If you can't make it on May 27th, we're there every Friday all the way through September 2nd. As you can see on your screen, we have a lot of great food vendors up there. We block off the boulevard. There's adult beverages there. There's something for the children there. We have great food, great beverages, great spirit, and just as an honor for me to stand on that Schoenbaum stage and introduce the bands. But my favorite thing about Live on Levee, folks, is when I look at the 10,000 people up in the audience, I don't see anybody having a bad time. Everybody's got a smile on their face. I love that. Everybody looks happy, which I love that. If you know me, I love happy people, and it's just a good vibe. And I appreciate the City of Charleston. I appreciate Mayor Goodwin and her administration. And again, all the departments that have anything to do with this. It's going to be a fun year. I will be remiss if I don't mention some of our major sponsors. Of course, I continue to call it the Moses Auto Group, so thank you to the Moses family. They've been with us for so many years. I believe this is like 18 or 19 years for Live on Levee. We want to thank the father of Live on Levee, former councilman on the city, Tom Lane. He came up with the idea back in, I think it was '03. But thank you to Moses Auto Group. Thank you this year to Lou Wendell and his son Mike Wendell, Lou Wendell Marine, down the river. They're going to be a major player this year. Thank you to Spriggs Distributing. Thank you to Capital Beverage. Thank you to the University of Charleston, Bridge Valley College. Thank you to Caldwell Insurance. Want to thank our good friends at Mountain State Oral Facial, West Virginia State University as well. We thanked FootMad a little bit earlier. Want to thank Highmark West Virginia, City National Bank, Mountain State Beverage, Brewer and Company have been with us since day one. They're the only company that has sponsored us every single summer for Live on Levee. Thank you to Pterodon Corporation, and we want to thank Bridge Valley Nursing Program as well. Those are some of our major players, but as I mentioned earlier, lots of other sponsors stepping up, lots of partners, and we're over $100,000 this year. So thank you to the business community. We thank you for watching this segment of Highlights. We hope to see you down at Riverfront Park beginning May the 27th. Now, as promised at the top of the show, I'll be joined next by Harper Gardner. Harper's the chairman of the board for the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic, and we'll be right back. At this time, we'd like to thank our partners and our sponsors for the highlights from the heart of our community television show. Thank you very much to our HD Media, the host of our show. Thank you to the Media Center for all the production support that they provide. And thank you, of course, to my company, Jim Strawn & Company. We appreciate the collaboration. Thank you to all of our sponsors and all of our partners. And really a great conversation with Delegate Mike Pushkin wearing his hat for the Moses Auto Group Live on Levee. He's ready, I'm ready, we hope that you're ready as well. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, joining me on the Highlights program, my good friend Harper.
Hey Jim, thank you for having me.
Harper Gardner.
Yes, sir.
Now you're the chairperson of the Board of Directors for the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic.
Correct.
Harper, you don't look like a senior. Maybe you're carrying it well.
Not quite there
okay,
yet.
I
Not
didn't
quite
think
up
you
to
were.
participation
Yeah.
age
So
yet.
what's your story? How'd you get involved?
So About 7 years ago, my employer was a sponsor, and I was asked to help assist with the pickleball tournament. That was back when it was still at the Canal City Tennis Club, and just started working that tournament. Eventually became that tournament coordinator, and then this past year, I was asked by the board to step in and become president, as Harold, our outgoing president, has moved on to the national board, which is a huge deal for West Virginia.
Your employer at the time?
With Stonerise Healthcare.
Stonerise.
I worked in their
and
home
you still
health
work
division.
with seniors, right?
I do. It's been my lifelong career. I'm working at Bel Air at Devonshire now as their director of sales and marketing.
Very good. Your father worked with the elderly?
He did. Dad retired from Stonerise this past summer and loved his work there. And Larry Pack and Steve White were great mentors with him, and I really helped grow his career and did that through there.
Rest your father's soul. I know
Absolutely.
him well.
We lost him in October, but thank you very
soon.
much.
Too soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Too soon. So let's talk about, so this year, we call it the 28th Annual West Virginia Senior Sports Classic.
28th annual. Yes, sir.
It is for athletes that are 50 plus.
50 plus.
It's their time to shine. We have about 12 or 13 sports that they can compete in.
Yes, sir.
As we tape this show, the National Senior Games are happening in Fort Lauderdale. Next year, if you qualify in the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic Games, you qualify. The National Senior Games are just up the road.
Just in Pittsburgh. Yep.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, May 2023, the National Games will be in Pittsburgh. So great opportunity for our region to really expand our senior games and really send a huge slate of athletes to Pittsburgh next year.
So we would love to have 300 to 400 senior athletes participate in our West Virginia Senior Sports Classic. So it begins on July the 8th, and it runs until July the 23rd. Years past, we tried to put all those sports in one weekend or 1 week.
Yeah.
So now we've spread it out. No reason not to sign up and participate. Some of the, I'm just going to kind of highlight some of the, just so you know what we're competing in.
Yep.
We do have track and field. We have a bicycling event.
Yes.
We have a 5K run. We have a bowling event. We have basketball. And folks, basketball is 3-on-3, one hoop, if you didn't realize that, like the old school days. Volleyball we have, men and women. Swimming we have. Racquetball we have. I got to mention, racquetball is held in West Virginia, but not in the Canal Valley, up in the Shepherdstown, West Virginia
Shepherdstown,
area.
Martinsville, yes, up there.
We have a coordinator up there. But pickleball, as you mentioned, your sport.
Right here.
We have that here at the Charleston Tennis Club,
Yes,
I believe.
sir.
And we have tennis. We're going to play tennis down at West Virginia State University. Table tennis, golf. And you say we have a couple female teams that are going to play softball, so we have more room for softball players.
We do have more room for softball. In the past, during COVID, we've struggled to attract the large teams. We had some interest this year, and so we are going to open it up for softball, which is new for us for the last couple of years. Really hope to expand that tournament and really make that a little bit bigger.
I've been around athletics my whole life. I used to do the corporate cup. I was a physical education major. I'm a coach. I love sports. I love athletics. And I participated in the West Virginia Senior Games. And just last week, for the first time, I was around the National Senior Games. Harper, I'm here to tell you, and you probably have seen this, it doesn't matter what age you are, your competitive spirit, your competitive juices flow, and you want to do the best you can. Sometimes you compete with yourself.
Absolutely.
And you compete with others, but you're just trying to do the best that you can. And I don't care. You just mentioned Harold Veely. Harold's 84, by the way.
Yes.
He's proud of his age, and I'm not saying anything out of turn. But they're playing for the national title. West Virginia's 80-plus teams playing for the national title. These 70 and 80 and 90-year-olds, we've had bikers out there 90.
Yeah.
Aren't they remarkable?
It's incredible, the level of competition that really gets brought to this every single year. It blows me away every year how competitive and how much fun these athletes have. And they're athletes. They're truly athletes.
Truly athletes. They get ready. They prepare. They have their massage guns. They have their personal trainers. They have their stretchers. They have all the gear. They have all the attire. They have all the tools. I mean, track and field. I mean, they're out there high jumping and pole vaulting and playing basketball. There's some of our basketball guys right there on the screen. But I marvel at them. They can jump. They can run.
Yes.
Maybe not like they did when they were 24, but in their heart, they're faster than they were when they were 24.
Most of them are faster than I was when I was 24. So yeah.
So the best way to register. Registration is only $45. There's my girl Barb running last year in the 5K. She was great. Her and her husband both participate. But the best way to register for the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic this year, again, it starts on July the 8th, goes until July the 23rd, www.wvssc.com. It's on the screen right there, wvssc.com. leveeSSC.com. You get there, go to the registration. It's $45 to register. I think we get a T-shirt with that and the opportunity to compete.
T-shirt, goodie bag, and an opportunity to compete. Top 3 in every age-ranked event will get an opportunity to go represent.
That's how
West
you
Virginia.
qualify, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We need to talk about that.
Yes.
So the top 3 in every event, if it's a 50-meter run or a 50-meter swim or the team,
Yep.
the top 3 teams, the top 3 individuals in every event
Per age
qualify
group.
per age group.
Yeah.
Per age group. So let's talk about that. It starts at 50, but it's 5-year increments, right?
5-year increments, and then the top one is 100 plus. So
You're competing with, if you're 52, you're competing with 50 to 54.
Yes.
55 to 59. I compete with the 60 to 64-year-olds at my age, 62.
Yes.
And then Harold, as we mentioned, all his team, he's got like 7 or 8 on his team. They're all over 80. They're
Yeah.
80 to 84.
it's incredible.
It's just really cool stuff. WVSSC.com is how you register. $45 will get you registered with the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic. The top 3 in every age bracket, in every sport, every team sport, every individual sport qualifies for the national games. And I got to tell you, coming back from Fort Lauderdale last week, I went to the National Senior Games. The ceremony, the flame arrival, the camaraderie, the unbelievable camaraderie that I saw with athletes competing and having just such good, healthy competition and so much fun. I tell you what, you just got to be a part of this. You want to qualify for Pittsburgh. We'd like to have a huge delegation
Absolutely.
this year compete, but we want a huge delegation in Pittsburgh, being a neighboring state.
Yeah, this is in our backyard. What you said, 45 minutes
Yeah.
from the West Virginia
Yeah,
border,
I mean,
we can be there.
Some
So
people can be there in 45 minutes from the Canal Valley. It's a 3.5-hour drive
Easy
to
drive.
Pittsburgh, and it's the national games are about a 15-day event. So you would qualify for your events, and you might go up for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
I was at the national games for 4 days, and I missed a third of it. It's
Yeah.
still going on.
Yeah.
So it's a long, drawn out, really a neat thing that the National Senior Games people do. Their home office is in Clearwater. Our home office for the West Virginia Senior Sports Classic is here in Charleston. Harper Gardner is the chair of our board. You have a pretty good board. I've been on it for a couple of years now.
we have a great board. We've got representation from a bunch of our different sports. Jim, you joined us
You're
and
right.
represent our track and field as
Yeah,
as
well, that's
an
what
event
you
coordinator.
do. You have a good board, and every board member spearheads one of these
One of the
sports.
events. Yeah, exactly. And everybody's
And
got
you're
skin
just
in
the
the game.
CEO of the organization, but we have great department heads, right?
Exactly. Amazing department heads, great volunteers. It's an amazing organization with a lot of history. Like you said, 28 years. So a lot of history in the Kanawha Valley for promoting athletics with seniors.
We appreciate our sponsors. Humana is one of our big sponsors. Humana is a big national sponsor, and then they help us here in West Virginia
Absolutely.
as well. So we
really
wanna-
appreciate Humana and everything they do, both nationally and locally.
wanted to give them a plug too. Just a few minutes left in our segment, Harper. Is there something that I haven't asked you that you need to let our audience know about this organization and the competition that's coming July the 8th through the 23rd?
One, don't be afraid to enter. If you're a hobbyist pickleball player, don't be intimidated by the level of competition. Come and play. It's about getting out. It's about physical fitness and athleticism, and like you said,
Getting off the
camaraderie.
couch.
Getting off the couch.
Meet some new friends.
Meet some new friends. We're
Sweat a little bit.
coming
yeah.
out of COVID a little bit.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
able to start doing some fun stuff.
You ran that last year, didn't you? You ran the cycling thing on the screen, didn't
Yes,
you?
yeah, I was.
you
I'm
were
still
there.
going to be the event
Yeah.
coordinator for the 5K and the bike race. So don't be afraid of competition. Let's get out there. Let's have a great time. It's an amazing event, and really does help promote some athleticism and some competition amongst the senior population.
I opened with it. I'm going to close with it. It's your time to shine, folks.
It is.
And Harper, you're shining, by the way.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And it's your time to shine. Get registered. The West Virginia Senior Sports Classic, www.wvssc.com. And we hope to see you in and around the Canal Valley, Levee Field, West Virginia State University, Tri-County YMCA for the swimming, many other venues. Go to the website, learn those. You can see on the screen it is the 28th Annual West Virginia Senior Sports Classic. And that is all the time we have for on this edition of Highlights, as always brought to you through a collaboration with Jim Strawn and Company, the Media Center, and HD Media. We'll see you next time on Highlights. We'll see you at Levee Field. We'll see you at Live on the Levee. We'll see you all around the valley, and we'll see you next time right here on Highlights. Take care now.